They went then marching forth. Their fleet vessel remained now still, deep-bosomed ship. It rode upon its hawser fast to the anchor. Figures of the boar shone above, cheek guards adorned with gold, glittering, fire-tempered, fierce and challenging war mask kept guard over life. The men hastened, striding together until they could descry the building hall, adorned bright with gold. Foremost it was in fame of all houses under heaven, among the dwellers upon earth, wherein the mighty one abode. The light of it shone over many a land. Then that warrior bold pointed out to them, clear to see, the court of proud men, that they might march straight thither. Then that warrior turned his horse, and thereupon spake these words: Time it is for me to go. May the Almighty Father in his grace keep you safe upon your quests. To the sea will I go, against unfriendly hosts my watch to keep. The street was paved in stone patterns. The path guided those men together. There shone corslet of war, hard hand-linked. Bright ring of iron rang in their harness. As in their dread gear they went striding straight unto the hall. Weary of the sea, they set their tall shields, bucklers wondrous hard, against the wall of the house, and sat then on the bench. Corslets rang, war harness of men. Their spears stood piled together. Seaman's gear, ash-hafted, gray-tipped with steel, well furnished with weapons, was the iron-mailed company. There then a knight in proud array asked those men of battle concerning their lineage, Whence bear ye your plated shields, your grey shirts of mail, your masked helms and throng of warlike shafts? I am Hrothgar's herald and servant. Never have I seen so many men of outland folk more proud of bearing. I deem that in pride, not in the ways of banished men. Nay, in greatness of heart ye have come seeking Hrothgar. To him then, strong and bold, the proud prince of the wind-loving folk replied. Words he spake in answer, stern, beneath his helm. We are companions of Hygelac's table. Beowulf is my name. To the son of Healfdene, glorious king, I wish to tell mine errand to thy lord, if he will vouchsafe to us that we may approach him in his excellence. Wulfgar spake. Noble prince of the Wendels was he. His heart's temper, his prowess and wisdom were known to many a man. This will I inquire of the friend of the Danes, lord of the Scyldings, giver of rings, concerning thy quest. Even as thou prayest, and such answer quickly declare to thee as he in his goodness is minded to give. Then swiftly he returned where Hrothgar sat, old and hoar-headed. Amid his company of knights, valiant he strode, until he stood by the shoulder of the Lord of the Danes. Well, he knew the customs of courtly men. Wulfgar spake to his beloved lord. Here are now landed, come from afar over the encircling sea, noble men of the Geats, the chiefest of them, men of arms named Beowulf. They beg to exchange words with thee, my king. Do not make denial to them of thy fair answer, O gracious Hrothgar. In their harness of war they seem well to merit the esteem of men. Assuredly a man of worth is the captain who hath led these men of battle to this land. Hrothgar spake, protector of the Scyldings. I knew him while he was yet a boy. His sire of old was called Ecgtheow. To him Hrethel of the Geats gave his bride his only daughter. It is his son that has now here come dauntless, seeking a friend and patron. Voyagers by sea, such have borne gifts and treasures for the Geats thither in token of goodwill, have since reported that he hath in the grasp of his hand the might and power of 30 men, valiant in battle. Holy God hath sent him to us in his mercy, even to the West Danes, as is my hope, against the terror of Grendel. To this good knight I shall offer precious gifts, to reward the valor of his heart. Make haste now, bid them enter here, and look upon the proud company of our kin, here gathered together. Tell them, too, in words of greeting, that they are welcome to the people of the Danes. Then Wulfgar went toward the door of the hall, and, standing within, he pronounced these words: "My victorious lord, chieftain of the East Danes, bade me say to you that he knows your lineage, and that with your dauntless hearts ye come as welcome guests to him over the surges of the sea. Now may ye go in your harness of battle beneath your masked helms to look upon Hrothgar. Leave here your warlike shields and deadly shafted spears to await the issue of your words." Then that lordly man arose, and about him many a warrior, a valiant company of knights, some remained behind, guarding their gear of war, even as the bold captain commanded. They went with speed together, the knight guiding them beneath the roof of Heorot. Stern beneath his helm strode Beowulf, until he stood beside the hearth. Words he spake, his mail gleamed upon him, woven like stuff in craftly web by the cunning of smiths. "Hail to thee, Hrothgar! I am Hygelac kinsman and vassal. On many a renowned deed I ventured in my youth. To me on my native soil the matter of Grendel became known and revealed. Travelers upon the sea report that this hall, fairest of houses, stands empty, and to all men useless, as soon as the light of evening is hid beneath heaven's pale. Thereupon the worthiest of my people and wise men counseled me to come to thee, King Hrothgar, for they had learned the power of my body's strength. They had themselves observed it, when I returned from the toils of my foes, earning their enmity, where five I bound, making desolate the race of monsters. And when I slew amid the waves by night the water demons, enduring bitter need, avenging the afflictions of the wind-loving Geats, destroying those hostile things woe they had asked for, and now I shall with Grendel, with that fierce slayer, hold debate alone with the ogre. Now therefore will I ask of thee, Prince of the glorious Danes, defender of the Scyldings, this one boon that thou deny not to me, O protector of warriors, fair lord of peoples, since I have come from so far away that only I may, and my proud company of men, this dauntless company, make Heorot clean. I have learned too that this fierce slayer, in his savagery to weapons, gives no heed. I too then will disdain. So love me, Hygelac, my liege lord, to bear either sword or wide shield, yellow boss, to battle. Nay, with my gripe I shall seize upon the foe and engage in mortal contest, with hate against hate. There to the judgment of the Lord shall he resign himself, whom death doth take. Methinks he will, if he is permitted to have the mastery in this hall of battle, devour without fear the Gothic knights, the strong band of Rethmen, as he oft hath done. No deed wilt thou have in burial to shroud my head, but he will hold me reddened with gore. If death takes me, a bloody corse will bear, will think to taste it, and departing alone will eat unpitying, staining the hollows of the moors. No need wilt thou have any longer to care for my body's sustenance. Send back to Hygelac, should battle take me, the mail shirt most excellent, that defends my breast, fairest of rement. Hrethel bequeathed it, the work of Wayland. Fate goeth ever as she must. Hrothgar made answer, protector of the Scyldings, my friend Beowulf, for my deserts, and for the grace that once I showed thou hast now come to us. Thy father with the sword ended one of the greatest feuds. Hiathaloth with his own hands he slew among the Wylfings, then the kindred of the Wetterus, could no longer keep him for the dread of war. Thence he sought the South Danish folk over the surges of the sea, even the glorious Scyldings, when first I ruled the people of the Danes, and in youth governed a spacious realm, treasury and stronghold of mighty men. Heorot was then dead. Mine elder brother no longer lived, the son of Healfdene. Better was he than I. Thereafter that feud I settled with payment, sending to the Wylfings over the backs of the sea ancient treasures. Oaths he swore to me, grievous to my heart, is it to recount to any among men what humiliations in Heorot, what dreadful deeds of malice Grendel hath wrought for me in the hatred of his heart. Diminished is the company of my hall, the ranks of my warriors. Fate hath swept them into the dire clutch of Grendel. God alone may easily hinder from his deeds that savage foe. Full often have champions of war flushed with drink over the goblets of ale made vaunt that in the drinking hall they would meet the warlike might of Grendel with the terror of their blades. Thereafter was this mead hall, my royal house, on the morrow tide, red with dripping blood, When day shone forth, all the bench boards drenched with blood, and the hall with dew of swords, the fewer loyal hearts and bold men tried in war had I, for death had taken them. Sit now at the feast, and when the time comes, turn thy thought to victory for the Rethmen, as my heart may urge thee. Then for the young Geatish knights together in company, a bench was made free in the drinking hall. There to their seats went those stout of heart, resplendent in their strength, and esquire his office heeded, he that bore in hand the jeweled ale goblet and poured gleaming out the sweet drink. Ever and anon the minstrel sang clear in Heorot. There was mirth of mighty men, no little assembly of the tried valor of Danes and Waiteras. Unferth spake son of Ecglaf, who sat at the feet of the lord of the Scyldings. A spell to bring forth strife he loosed. The quest of Beowulf, come thus boldly over the sea, gave to him great displeasure. For it was not to his liking that any other man in this world below should ever accomplish more honor under heaven than himself. Art thou that Beowulf, who strove with Breca in swimming upon the wide sea, that time when ye two in pride made trial of the waters, and for a rash vaunt hazarded your lives upon the deep? No man, friend nor foe, could dissuade you two from that venture, fraught with woe. When with limbs ye rode the sea, there ye embraced with your arms the streaming tide, measuring out the streets of the sea with swift play of hands, gliding over the ocean. The abyss was in tumult with the waves and the surges of the winter. 7 nights ye two labored in the water's realm. He overmatched thee in swimming. He had greater strength. Then on the morrow tide the billows bore him up away to the Heathoriamus land, whence he, beloved of his people, sought his own dear soul, the land of the Brandings, and his fair stronghold, where a folk he ruled, his strong town and his rings, all his vaunt. Truly did he, the son of Beanston, accomplish against thee, wherefore I expect for thee a yet worse encounter, though thou mayest in every place have proved valiant in the rush of battle and grim war. If thou darest, all the night long, hour nigh at hand to wait for Grendel.